And in 3, 2, 1, Kyle.
Hey,
how
Evan.
are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
What's going on, man?
Just, in the studio.
Just chilling.
That's
Yeah.
all I'm doing today.
This is the studio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild because like at first, I didn't have like any of this shit, and I started streaming for 12-inch.
Mhm.
So I started getting like mics and shit like that. And
Mhm.
I was like, I just want to do a podcast. So then I just started like slowly getting this shit. And this table I found in the garbage.
Okay.
So you're currently sitting at a garbage table.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's all right though. But yeah, I heard you're moving soon.
Yes. So today's Saturday, so I'll be moving
Yep.
in 6 days.
Okay, you excited?
Yes. Excited to leave.
You've lived in Miami though before, right? In the past?
I've lived, Miami is so South Florida is actually quite long. It's
Mhm.
it's like a 2-hour long subregion.
Right, because there's Miami, and then there's, well, what's right above Miami?
Right. So
There's like the Everglades, right?
No, so Everglades is west of
Okay.
Miami. So Everglades is right here, and then South Florida is all like this. And so at the very top of South Florida, you could say is West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And at the bottom, which is actually not Miami, it would be Homestead. So you
that's
have
like really far south.
that's like all the way at the bottom.
Okay.
Like when you leave Homestead, you're going
That's
to
like
the
Key
Keys.
West.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. I
Yeah.
see.
So you got Miami, you got Fort Lauderdale,
Mhm.
and then you have their area that I lived in, which is like Boca Raton, Delray Beach, that area.
Mm.
And then
You were living there for college, right?
right,
Okay.
and above that is West Palm.
Okay, so you're gonna be living in West Palm now?
No, I'm living in right next to Boca.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like an hour north of Miami.
Damn. And you're gonna be moving in with your girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Okay. Does
Mhm.
she have a job down there, or is she
Yeah,
going for school?
Yeah, she's an actuary.
Oh,
She
damn.
graduated at the same time as
That's
me.
dope.
Mhm.
Wait, so she's a mathematician?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
she's
she's
smart
good
as
at
hell.
math. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Does she work for an insurance company or what?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice. That's dope as fuck. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna be doing down there? Do you have like a job lined
So
up?
so I already have a job. The job that I have right now, I've done enough training with it.
Okay.
And I've had enough experience where I can live, away from my boss, and so I'm a phone programmer with voice over IP phones.
Okay.
The phones, rather than using a standard phone jack, they plug into a Cat5 or
Right,
Ethernet
like
cable.
an internet cable,
Mhm.
right? We had those at my last insurance job that I worked at.
Right, and since they're connected to the internet, I can make changes to the configuration of the phones even when they're not on site anymore.
Anywhere, right?
So I can work wherever I want,
Dang,
as long as I
that's
can answer
awesome.
the phone and I have internet,
Okay.
which I would there.
And you got the job here?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll just be working over the phone.
Correct.
That's awesome. Dang. Yeah.
So it's the same thing, just
I remember
different desk.
back when I worked at the insurance building where the old 12-inch was,
Mhm.
those things had to be fixed all the time.
Yeah.
And mainly it wasn't the internet that had the problem. It was the PoE system, the power over Ethernet system that had the problem.
Right.
And I had to fix that shit all the time. It was so obnoxious.
Yeah.
But I mean, I figured it out after a while. And normally it was the same issue every time. So it's
Mhm.
not that big a deal. But it's crazy though
Yeah.
that like we're getting rid of the phone lines nowadays. It's just all internet.
Yeah.
So
It's cool.
It's wild. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's all-
obviously I get to stay home and work from
And
home.
just right, and just sit there and just
Yeah. So if none of my customers
Damn.
have a problem, I could not work the entire day. I'm on call, but I could actually not be doing anything.
Right. That's
which
a lot
is
like
awesome.
my job, actually, to be honest with you.
That's
I just,
good.
I mean, because I'm the maintenance man here,
Mhm.
so as long as everything's clean and everything's done, like I'm pretty much good. But I am on call, for throughout the day.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
which is rough because I actually had a water issue happen here in this unit,
Mhm.
and I called my landlady. I was like, "Hey, this shit's up," and she's like, "Oh, I'll just call the maintenance man for the complex." I'm like, "That's me, and I don't know how to fix it." So call a freaking handyman, like a real handyman, in here and fix
Right.
it. So she was pissed, but she got it done, which is good. But so you can be playing Melee down there as well?
Yeah,
With all
absolutely.
the Miami guys?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll be living very close to Prof.
Okay.
And
Prof is so fucking good.
yeah, and Walmart Shoes
God.
is a close friend of mine also.
Okay.
Like Prof
This
is.
is Foxman, right?
No, he plays Marth. He's a guy who plays Marth, Game and Watch, and Ness.
Oh, I know his Game & Watch. I
Yeah.
think that's where I know him from.
Yeah. So he's a little farther, but I'll still be playing with him frequently. And there's a
Okay.
couple other guys, but those are the two main ones.
Do they all play at the Versus venue as
Yeah.
well? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be going to Versus hopefully every Sunday. I have
Nice.
to ask my girlfriend, but
Yeah,
hopefully
see if
she's
Sunday's
okay
all
with,
right
it.
with it.
Yeah, because it's like Sunday night. She'll probably be asleep anyway.
Mhm.
So I'll be there with Blea and Pork Chops and
all the best
Prof
players
and Walmart
in South
Shoes
Florida.
and Linguini sometimes and Titman usually.
That's awesome.
And whoever else decides to show up. So
So-
that'll be where I'll go.
What you're telling me is that when you come back to SRQ for visits, you have to body everyone.
Well,
I mean, you already body everyone, but you have to like do it one or two more levels above.
yeah. Once I move, I'm definitely trying much harder since I will have ready practice
Right.
with much better people than I do here. Sorry, SRQ.
It happens. SRQ's good, but we have a lot of mid-level players.
Yeah,
a lot of players are like my level or
Yeah.
or just slightly above.
Yeah, so I'll have whatever PR I'm on next down there, it will not be first.
It will not be number one.
No, it will
no.
not be first.
They have some pretty damn good players.
Yeah, the best I could do is maybe third, but with how I've
Still
been playing
good.
recently, it's probably not happening.
It's unfortunate, but I kind of feel like you can only get so good in Tampa or SRQ or even like sub-regions thereof just because we don't have the best players in Florida, you know?
Yeah.
You can only get so good. I mean, and I guess you look at like PPMD, right, who
Mhm.
literally had no skill around him and he became the best in the world. But he's an anomaly. He's not the rule.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you want to get actually good, you got to move. You got to go like CFL
Yeah,
or South Florida. So,
CFL's the
Dang.
place to be.
I mean, not much anymore, but they still have fantastic players. you know?
With CFL's current PR, they're still better than South Florida, even with all
They
the
are still the best region in the world, for sure.
Still-
or best region in Florida,
yeah,
rather.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I highly appreciate the fact that they removed their top 100 players from their PR.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's very like indicative of the actual skill that's like lurking there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a PR should represent who you should expect if you go to a weekly.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a weekly, who should you expect to be the best player there? And
That's-
it's like,
yeah.
you know, Credo or whoever is one on their PR now. I don't know.
Gatsu.
Oh, does God still
Mhm.
regularly go out? That's
Mhm.
awesome. That's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
pretty sure
Yeah.
Gatsu's first.
Which is good because I think he deserves it.
Mhm.
You know, if you're going to the weeklies every week and you're bodying everyone, you shouldn't have the best player in the world be your number one on the PR.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
but I mean, you can't really blame the top players though, because in a lot of ways, like, why do you want to go and play some scrubs for $20? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You look at the old CFLs and they had like 60+ players.
Yeah,
And like that was fucking awesome.
it was.
You know? And not to mention good practice for the good players, right? 'Cause
Mhm.
if you had Wizzy, Mutaking, Plup, and HBox all playing every week, they would get so much better.
Yeah, it'd be
like,
crazy.
what the fuck? So, I don't know. It would be wild. But, yeah, I just remember the days in Tampa where we used to have, like, massive weeklies. And it's just what I'm trying to bring it back to.
I was here for that. That was back in 2015, maybe
Mhm.
2016.
Spicy spot.
Yeah, spicy
not,
spot.
Not spaghetti spot, but the one before that.
Yeah, I went to a bunch of those. I was in grand finals a couple of times.
Really?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who would normally come out to the spicy spots? Because I know some players would come out. But
You mean from SRQ or
no,
from
just
what?
like top players.
It was usually Gravy, but sometimes like Cobalt, I think, and like Gatsu, and like maybe a couple others, but like it was always Gravy.
Mm-hmm. I
pretty
remember
much.
he used to come to the spaghetti spots as well.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
But other than them, I don't really remember. I don't really think I remember seeing Cruddo at like any of them
Mm-hmm.
or like OD or something.
Right. I don't think they were quite the same level as they are now back then. I mean, obviously it was 4 years ago,
Yeah,
so they didn't travel nearly as much.
yeah. I played Cruddo at a CG or not CGL, a TGL, which was a Miami monthly.
Way down south. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in like 2016 or 17 or something. And I remember there was a Giphy cat I got on him where like I like spot dodged his grab or something, like it doesn't matter. And then I tennis racket him off stage, and he was gonna go for edge, and I knew he was gonna go for edge, so I ran to the edge and I did a slow turnaround, and then I did wave dash back and I grabbed the edge, and
shit.
so I killed him with like a tennis racket at like 10%.
What the
It was just
fuck?
really funny, and that
Oh
was
my
when
God.
like I was like clearly better than Crotto, and he was like very much so on the come up, but now he's like better than me and doing like
I would say
really
he's
good.
significantly better than most people in Florida now.
Yeah, he
I
is.
mean, he's top 100 now, isn't he, or no?
No, not yet. I mean, he could be. I don't know what other nationals he's gone to besides the Arcadian.
The Arcadian, he got second.
Yes.
go.
Other than that, I don't know, but that he needs to go to 3, or else he
3 majors.
or else
Okay.
he can't be considered. And
I
I
think-
don't. I'm sure he's gone
he
to at
went to
least
Big
one
House,
or
didn't he?
like Genesis or something.
I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But I
Yeah.
feel like he went to one other, but I don't know if
Right.
he went to 3.
I
He
don't know.
needs to
I
go to
can see
3.
them getting really good really quick. And by them, I mean like all those up and coming players in CFL. So
Yeah.
Cruddo, Komodo, what do they got? Like Harriet and Ladd. Those people, I could see them getting really good soon, you know?
Mhm.
So, Yeah, CFL's wild, and it's crazy just comparing ourselves to them, you know?
Hmm.
But that's just how it is living next to in my opinion, the best region in the world, right? I mean, I might be a little biased, but
I think if you look at just the PRs now they wouldn't be, but if you consider that they have, a Hungry Box, Plup, Wizzy, I mean, just that
right, just that
is
alone,
like good enough.
That's literally a third of the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
Is in Orlando.
Mm.
And I mean, I guess California kind of is too. Because if you look at the top 10, you've got S2J, Mango. I guess Zane is MDVA.
SFAT.
SFAT. Yeah, no, he's 11. He's not on the top 10. At least I don't think.
Oh, he isn't
I don't
anymore?
think so.
Oh, wow. Time's
Yeah,
change.
actually, no. Never mind. I don't think CFL has nearly as dense as CFL in terms of top 100.
You think CFL what?
I think CFL is much more dense in top 10 players.
Yeah.
Not top 100 players, but specifically top 10
Yeah.
than anywhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very top-heavy scene, which is crazy.
Mhm.
So, and I don't know, like, what makes a scene that big? Because Orlando is a big city, but, I mean, is it just a weekly? Like, how do you get your players that good?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, CFL's a very old, consistent region. They've always had tournaments for forever.
Right.
Whereas something like, South Florida's been consistent too, but there just coincidentally hasn't been someone that's been as good as H-Box,
right, to
that's lived
push
there.
the
I mean,
scene.
the best, relative to their time, the best people that have lived in South Florida when they were at their peak has been Lamb Chops and
like the Shiz was. He was
and
South
Shiz,
Florida.
yeah. And
Yeah.
what was the other guy? And Linguini.
Yeah.
And now, like, Shiz is Swiffle,
Mm-hmm.
but like Linguini
He's
is
converted to the Jesus path.
well, yeah. But besides him, like Linguini and like Lamb Chops is in New York now. And
Really? Why did he move?
I don't know, but he moved like a while ago. He moved like 3 or 4 years ago.
Because Quad A Bill lives in New York,
Mhm.
so I don't know if he's in the same region or because he's like Long Island region.
No, Lamb Chops lives in New York City, so not Long Island.
So not Long Island. Okay,
No.
okay.
I
Weird.
used
That's
to
crazy.
live there.
In New York City.
In Long Island.
In Long Island. Yeah,
Yeah.
you and Bill used to live in the same like area, right?
Mhm.
Is that all one county, Long Island?
No, Long Island is 3 counties, I
Oh
believe.
my God, it's that big.
Yeah, so
long boy.
there's I don't remember what the county is called, but there's the county to the left of Nassau County, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
That's where like the Islanders are,
Mhm.
like New York Islanders. And then to the left is whatever the New York City county is. So that's like
Well,
Queens or something.
aren't they broken up into their
Bronx.
suburbs?
So
So it's like the Bronx, Queens.
yeah, those are called
boroughs.
boroughs. Yeah.
Is it the same as a county or no?
I
have no
don't
idea.
believe that they're all in different counties. I could be wrong. I think that there might be like a New York City county, but like I don't know. All I know is that there's whatever that county is to the left of Nassau County, which is where like New York City begins,
Mhm.
and then there's to the right there's I forget what it's called. I'm not gonna say it and be wrong. I've already been
I
wrong,
know
probably.
nothing about New York City because what defines a borough? Like, why don't we have boroughs in Florida?
So
Or do we? I have no idea.
no. So it's hard to I
Yeah,
know
right?
I
It's
know
weird.
it
I have
I
no
know it
idea.
because I feel it because I've been there and I've lived there for a long time.
Right.
But basically like New York City is split by water. Like the 5 major places are pretty much split by water.
They're all waterlocked, or they're just
No,
split
not
by
waterlocked. They're split between each other.
Okay.
Like with the Hudson River
Mhm.
and like I don't know what the other
I
one
don't
is,
know,
but
there's
Long
just
Island
rivers
Sound and the other
dividing
one.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like Manhattan is like part of an island. So like Manhattan
Okay.
is on a really big island that also has part of upstate New York on it, like upstate New York.
But it's not connected to the continental U.S. is what you're saying.
well,
technically.
I mean it's on an island, but I mean
Yeah, it's an island.
yeah, it's an
Right.
island. So it's specifically why it's important is because it's not connected to any other part of the city. And so then you have like Staten Island, which is another one of the boroughs, which is
Right.
an island.
And then you have Long Island.
Well, Long Island isn't a borough, because and then you have Bronx and Queens, and I'm forgetting one. Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, and I don't remember.
Is
the
there a
other one.
fifth one?
Yeah,
There's five
boroughs. Yeah,
Bill would know.
but I don't remember it. I'm sorry for whoever's listening.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not from New York.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
I mean, basically what you're telling me is that
They're all separate cities.
when the
basically.
inevitable dawn of the melting of the ice caps comes,
Yeah.
they will be fucked because they're right next. They're up north.
Yeah, Manhattan's in trouble.
Yeah, and they'll all just be flooded.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, because when that hurricane hit like 4 or 5 years ago, their subways got like decimated.
Yeah. Good fuck. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So
It's wild that they can have subways while also being on an island.
yeah.
Like if you dig like 10 inches in Florida, you'll hit water, right? So
Yep.
it's like having basements and shit. Like it's wild. But they have like they have pretty significant mountain ranges up in New York, right?
Yeah,
Even though-
Appalachians. Yeah.
No, the Appalachian is like North Carolina.
Yeah, it goes all the way.
It goes all the way up to New
Yes.
York. Oh shit! Oh, it goes all the way up through Maine, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's the Appalachians are over there, and then you have I think New York's like specific mountain range I think is the Catskills. I could be wrong though.
The Catskills?
I don't know. It's been a long time
Oh,
since I've looked at
shit.
New York geography, so I could be totally dead ass
How long
wrong.
did you live there?
For like 11 years. Or
Oh,
12
okay.
years
So you're
or something.
pretty fluent in the New York history and things like that.
ish.
Yeah. Okay. Why'd you move down to Sarasota?
My mom and stepfather had to sell their house, or not sell their house, but get out of the house that they were renting because their landlord had to sell it. And then they were like, why don't we just move in with my stepdad's, not move in with, but move to the state that my stepdad's parents are at, which is Florida.
Oh,
and
okay.
then my father and grandmother, who lived at the other house, were like, sure, we'll come too, because they wanted to be in the same place as me.
Oh,
And so-
so your mom and stepfather moved down here, and then your father was like, "Oh shit, like they're moving, I'll just come."
Yeah, because
Oh,
he wanted
okay.
to be with me.
Well, that's cool.
So they got out of their house and moved down to the Stockholm. That's where that's my
where-
dad's house. So that's where
Okay,
they moved.
that's where the Stockholm is. Speaking of the Stockholm, you having one of those before you move?
So I still have to ask my dad.
Okay.
He said he hurt his hip
Oh shit.
yesterday or like the day before.
Oh damn. I'm
And
sorry.
so I was gonna potentially have to drive him to the hospital
Oh my God.
yesterday because for X-rays.
Right.
But he opted not to. I don't know why I didn't ask. I was just like, okay, fine.
Damn.
And so
I
if
hope
I
he's okay. That sounds awful.
no,
Hip injuries
he's
are
fine. He's
terrible.
just like laying down.
Okay. Damn.
So I was gonna ask him then, but
Mm-hmm.
then like it didn't happen, and so I like kind of forgot. So I will.
Just host Salty Key at your house.
I was-
with no ultimate, and let the ultimate players use the Starbucks.
They
for
can
the
they can
week.
sit on my lanai, just
Oh,
like
no.
God intended.
Yeah, that's a topic all in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
Having ultimate at the Salty Key. venue.
Controversial almost.
No, I don't think it's controversial. I just think they need to find their own venue if they want. Okay, so first of all, my
Okay.
personal opinion is that I have a lot of respect for them playing outside every week. Because you saw me when we had to play like the rest of doubles outside.
Yeah.
I took my shirt off. It was hot as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So the fact that none of them are complaining as much as they do is good, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But second off, I think one of them needs to fucking grow up and find another venue, like everybody else has.
So it's kind of weird because Salty Key was originally started as a Smash 4 weekly and Melee was just included, but then like Smash 4 like hella super duper fast died, and then Melee kept the weekly alive for like 1 to 2 years, like completely
Like 100 weeklies, right?
like 100 weeklies,
Yeah.
only Melee, and like Melee's keeping it alive.
Right.
And then so it's kind of a weird topic because it was originally started as a Smash 4 weekly, but if it wasn't for Melee, there would be no weekly at all.
I think if it was a Melee weekly for a whole 2 years, it's ours now. Like, we've kind of indoctrinated the entire venue. Like, come on now.
Yeah, it's our table.
I mean, that's an interesting argument, though, right? Because the scenes are connected in a lot of ways, especially in
Yeah.
a scene of small Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, like, if you've got... I mean, first of all, I think the Melee scene is just bigger than the Ultimate scene in Sarasota, is it not?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that it's at least more consistent. Shout out to Smash 4.
Right, yeah. Good
a bunch
God.
of quitters, yeah.
That fucking game.
Yeah.
Who would ever play that game?
I don't know.
But-
I told him all it was bad when
Jesus.
it was out, and it's still bad.
yeah, right? And I
Ultimate's
mean,
okay.
I don't know. I think EVO 2018 just kind of showed us why that game isn't a thing anymore. Because they're just like, yeah, Bayo. They just Bayo mained, or Bayo dittoed.
Yeah, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Ultimate at all, actually, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't see it fun for competitive play at all.
It's fun casually.
Yeah, for sure.
But
sure.
Melee is just so good.
I mean, we also just definitely have melee boners, and we're just kind of elitist.
We do, but I mean, like, how can you look at a game like Ultimate competitively and then look at Melee competitively and not say that Melee is better? Or how can you say that Ultimate is better, I mean?
I think for a lot of people, it's the fact that the barrier to entry isn't tech skill. There are other barriers to entry, like matchup learning and neutral interactions and things like that. But you don't have to learn how to L cancel. You don't have to learn how to wave dash. Like very technically difficult things, like multi-shining or whatever, just isn't there because it's not needed.
Right.
Right. Like you don't need that
it's
extra
easier.
difficulty. But because it's easier, it emphasizes the things that Smash are supposed to be, right? Which is like neutral and things like that. But I think the technicality makes Smash what it is, like edge guarding and like things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, they're two separate genres. I think you have Melee and then you have Smash.
Yeah.
Because Melee is just a whole different ball game. You know, same technical like gameplay and mechanics, but it's just played out completely
It's just
different.
so much faster.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's like the difference between checkers and chess. You know, where you've got, the board's the same and the pieces might look nothing the same, but
you're trying your best.
But whatever. But it's just more technical.
I understand.
So yeah. Oh well. What got you playing Melee?
So what got me playing Melee? So I'm like the old school SRQ.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing when no one else was. I didn't have I had one friend to play with, and I beat him so many times with Ganon that he didn't like it.
Oh, no.
So this was back in like 2011, 2012, where I'm grinding out. I just found I don't know how, but I found like Titman's combo video from like 2009.
Oh my God. This was back in like what, 2014 or 2013?
No, this I found in 2011, 2012.
Oh, damn. You've been playing for a fuck ton.
Mm-hmm. So
Jesus.
From that video, it wasn't just a combo video. It was like a tech showcase of like everything. So it was like L canceling, wave line. It was like all that stuff. And so through that video, I was like, okay, like I need to learn how to do this stuff. And I just played. I don't know why I like picked up Ganon. I just thought he was cool.
Ganon's
probably.
So shitty.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my God.
But so I learned L canceling, wave landing, wave dashing through that, and I just tried really hard. And then I found Kage.
Yep.
Videos,
the warrior.
and I was like, oh, this is like cool. And then I was like, oh, I'm doing all of these things, which is not true.
Yeah,
I'm still not doing all those things. And then eventually I found HBox videos back when HBox was like 5th in the world, like for a couple of years in a row. I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. When he gets rest, it's really exciting because he's not like that great. Now I hate seeing rests.
Of course.
But
well, back then there was just a different mentality about Puff, right? She's interesting and cool and like
she wasn't the best.
Yeah, exactly.
And now some people argue that she's the best. I'm not saying that that's what I think. I'm just saying now that Hungrybox is the best. And he does so well, and people seem to have such. Anyway, point is that I was like, he's an underdog. He gets the rest. He pops off. It's super cool.
Right.
I'm a fan.
And he's a Florida man.
Yeah, and he's from Florida. It's pretty cool. So I picked up Puff. Then I played.
Oh, you started playing Puff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was a Puff main for like I don't know, like a year or something.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. It's hard to remember, but so basically, show up to FAU for orientation, and I'm walking to go to another part of the orientation, and I see playing in the student union because the auditorium that we were in was in the student union. We had to like go outside of the student union area to go to whatever other place we were going, and sitting and playing on CRT. On CRTs is Prof, and then a bunch of other people.
Did they go to that school?
No.
Okay.
So the other people did. So there was it was Prof, and then Chapman, who like lives in China now.
Yep.
And then
he lives in China. Holy shit.
And then it was Opus 9, who's like a really old school Ganon player.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. And like I think like maybe one other person. I just walked over there and I was like, oh shit, you guys are playing Melee. That's like crazy. Like I don't have anyone to play with, and here you are just like playing Melee out in the open.
Oh
and I was like, how often you guys come here? And they're like, well, like pretty much every day. And I was like, this is sick. I am so happy. And so
your heart flourished.
Yeah. So then Prof said, why don't you sit down and play some with us? And I was like, well, I got this orientation. Like, I don't know.
This whole bullshit. And
he was like, just play one. I was like, okay.
Dude,
and
let's go, Prof. That's
so
awesome.
I used somebody else's controller because I didn't have mine because I don't I
Right,
just bring
now
my
you carry
controller
it
everywhere.
That's a melee
But then I
person
didn't.
thing.
Yeah. So I played him, and that's when he was a Mewtwo main, like a solo Mewtwo main.
Yep.
And so it's Puff Mewtwo, and I played 2 games. I didn't play 1 game, but both games I got like double 3 stocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I wasn't like mad. I wasn't sad. I wasn't like, man, I suck. I was like, whoa, there is so much more to this game now.
Yep.
And since then, it has always been that. It has always been there's so much more
Right.
than I know. And so from there, I played Puff for like a couple months, and then there was this guy named Marlon, and he was a Samus player. And I could not touch this guy's Samus with Puff, and Puff bodies Samus. And I just couldn't do it. I was like,
It's
this
a
guy
hard
is
matchup to
so
learn,
good.
I think.
Yeah. And I wasn't super good.
Well, it's mainly
back then.
projectiles are very difficult to get around when you're a new player.
Exactly. So I found it really hard, and I was like picking up Peach a little bit because I had been watching now Armada
Yep.
because I was just watching tournaments now.
Let's go.
And I had picked up Peach as like my side character, and Puff was still my main. But then I started playing Marlon, and he was like the guy that I just couldn't do anything against ever. And then I was like, somebody said, why don't you just try Peach? Or maybe I said it. I don't remember. But then I did. And then I like took my first game.
Oh,
and it was
let's
with
go.
Peach. And I was like,
Did you just turn up camp the whole time?
no, I didn't.
Oh, let's go.
I've like never, except against Marth, but that's different.
Yeah,
I've never like
that's a different
inherently
matchup.
been a turnip camper because I just
Right.
don't like that. And so I was like, maybe I'll put more time into this character. And eventually I put so much time into the character that I didn't play Puff at all.
Yep.
And then I dropped Puff completely. And now Puff's like probably not even in my top 5
She's dead to you
characters
now.
anymore.
Good. What a
so
dumb character.
so that was like October, November of 2013, and then I played Peach, and then December 2013, or maybe it was December 2014. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a December. Might have been January 2014. It doesn't matter. Somewhere around there. And I saw Ryan Ford versus DJ Nintendo at Zenith 2013 or 2012.
That was right before Evo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had found that set, and I was like, man, this character is so cool, and I know he's bad, but man, is he just so cool. And so that's when I picked up Bowser, and then the following summer, I had changed my tag to Stockholm Syndrome.
That's awesome. So
because of the 2 characters.
What was your tag before that?
So, wow, that's its
Here we
own
go.
story. So that
Okay.
actually that story includes Hungry Box too. And this is a funny story. So my first tag was Apollo. That was my first tag.
Apollo? Mm-hmm. You know, oh shit. So tangent, just before you finish that story, my new cat, her name is Cassini, but I thought that cat was going to be a boy, and I was going to name him Apollo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think it's a sick name. But
That's
continue,
cool.
I'm sorry.
So my first tournament that I ever went to was January 2014. It was CEO Winterfest. It was
Nice.
like the only one that they did, or at least the only one that they've done since then. And so that was my first tournament. I did not go 0-2, so I've actually never gone 0-2 in any tournament.
What?
Which is like pretty cool.
That's fucking bonkers.
It's cool. I can
Yeah.
I can say that. It's like
Good goddamn.
So that's why I don't want to pick up Ultimate, because I'm probably gonna go 0-2, and then
Yeah.
the streak ends. So I gotta get really good at Ultimate if I want to
Yep.
enter it. Anyway, fuck Ultimate. So I'm Apollo. I go to CEO Winterfest, and then my friend's like, Kyle, you're not on stream, but they're talking about you on stream.
What?
And they said, "Oh, Apollo's here." Oh, Apollo? And I was watching the VOD. This is when I was watching, and I was like watching the VOD back, and I was like, And then they said, "Oh no, I think it's the other Apollo." And I was like,
Oh, there's 2
what?
Apollos?
And so basically, was that mine? I really
think it
thought
was
I
mine.
turned sound
It
off.
was mine.
Is it?
I turned
Oh, yeah.
sound on to make sure I could hear when you were coming.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
So
I have issues with it.
yeah. So so I was like, there's already a guy named Apollo. So in Orlando, I don't know if he plays anymore. I don't think he does. I actually don't think he does. But there's a Peach player, coincidentally, named Blade of Apollo. And so I was like, all right, well, I don't want to like encroach on his name because like he had it first. So I'll just become something else. So the reason I was Apollo was because a bunch of people, when I moved into FAU in the dorms there, a bunch of the friends that I had made were like, "Oh, you look so Greek. Like you're just like this handsome Greek man."
Yeah, you kind of.
But when I moved in, I was very tan, and so Greeks tan very well. So when I tan, I have like this nice orange, not orange, but olive complexion.
Just a
it's
beautiful
very
human
pretty.
being.
And now I'm all pale and disgusting.
Yeah,
so that's funny.
Just go outside a little bit more.
Yeah.
Stop playing Melee as much.
Yeah, or play Melee outside.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do another Greek one. So I was Uranus, which is Uranus.
Yeah.
But like Aranos.
But sounds better.
Yes, doesn't sound like your anus.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
I was that. And then when Versus opened, they had an inaugural Melee tournament called Fear the Green Missile.
That's for Playa Jello, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
And so at that tournament, it was like Plup, H-Box, Black and Plup played only Samus.
Yep.
Samus, Plup, H-Box, and like Gatsu showed up. And it was like maybe a couple other CFL people, but those are like the big ones. And then like, whoever from South Florida.
Right.
And so I was Aranos. And when I was waiting there for I was in like Pool A. So just remember that I was in Pool A. So I was waiting for my matches, and I was waiting for my match, and Hungrybox was like helping TO. So he was TOing, and he said, Ouroboros, come for your set, or whatever. Like come to the TO desk,
Sure.
so you can play your
Like
set.
report for your set. Yeah. Sure.
Yes. And so I said, that's not my tag. Ouroboros is a Greek thing. And so I said, somebody could be named Ouroboros. It's not me.
Oh, did you get DQ'd?
I'm getting there.
Okay. All right.
So I said to myself, I hear you, Hungrybox. That's not my tag. In my head, I said that. And then Prof came up to me and he's like, hey, they're calling your match. And I said, no, that's Ouroboros. I'm Oranos. You see,
okay.
it's different. And Ouroboros is literally a thing. So
Right.
like
I was
like,
Ouroboros tattoo.
yeah.
It's like
so I was. It was
it's like the
it's
snake
the two
eating,
snakes.
eating themselves.
So I
was
said,
just thinking
it's not
from
me.
the FMA.
It's not me. So it's not me. And then another friend came up and said, they're calling you. I'm like,
Bro,
no,
go.
they're really not. Stop telling me that. I'm
Yep.
good. And then Hungrybox said, and I'll never forget it. He said, Ouroboros, you have whatever 60 seconds to come to the
Sure.
TO desk. Actually, you're DQ'd.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
said
he just
that?
like he just did that.
What a
And I was
douchebag.
like, and then I thought
Typical
to myself,
H-Box.
I was like, you know what? Maybe that was me. Maybe that was me. And so I walked up and I was like, hey, Hungrybox. I heard you calling Ouroboros. My tag is Aranos, and I thought maybe it's not, but is that you calling me, or was I
You're
right?
just so confused.
And so he was basically like, yeah, I was calling you. And I was like, okay, because my tag's Aranos, not Ouroboros, because I was confused. And he was like, I don't know, it just says Ouroboros right here.
What?
So like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, so like, now what? And he was like, you play the winner of the random person and Brave, who is my friend, Braverman, Marth player
I
from
remember
South
the
Florida.
name.
Yeah.
Was he on the PR still? Brave?
He
No.
never.
He doesn't play anymore.
He's in CFL. I don't know how active he is. I don't think he really is. But anyway, so Brave was my friend, a practice partner at the time, and he was playing a random person. So instead of being in Pool A, I was now in Pool D.
What?
And the winner of that set played me, and the winner of my set with whoever won that set got out of the pool. And
Oh,
so
shit.
so
Okay.
as soon as he said, you're going to be in Pool D, you play the winner of this person and Brave, and the person gets out, I said to myself, I was like, you know what? Brave's going to win, and then I'm going to beat him, and it's going to be a meme.
Let's go.
And that's exactly what happened.
Oh,
he
no.
won, and then I won. And then he's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, blame Hungrybox, dude.
Yep.
He messed up my tag. And then
So you got to play as someone else, essentially.
I
Because you
don't
were
know.
in Pool A, and then you got
It
moved.
must have been like that. The person
Right.
must have DQ'd or something. I never asked. I mean, I could probably just look at the bracket if it still exists, but
Sure.
it might only be the
That was a while
results
ago.
that are. I know the results are posted on Smashboards, and I'm
Right.
listed as Oranos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then after that, I said, you know, if Hungrybox is gonna mess up my tag, I need to just make something that's way easier to
Really
read.
yeah,
And so
indistinguishable.
that was in like March or something. And then I finished the school year, figuring out what I was gonna like do for my tag, and then I went to. I remember I was interning in New York living at my uncle's place for like 2 weeks, and I was like, you know what? I played Bowser and Peach, like Bowser captures Peach, and like I like both the characters, so Stockholm Syndrome, and I was like, that seems pretty good, and
That's
I
a
was like,
sick
all right,
tag.
I'll just stick with that, and so that was it. So since like summer 2014, I've been Stockholm Syndrome, but before that, I was just some random shit and just forget about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very much like standard or like beginning player anxiety, where it's like, shit, are they gonna say my name right? Like, I gotta listen for my name. Fuck, like you don't know because it's like your first tournament.
Mm-hmm.
My very first tournament was Tampa Never Sleeps, 2016, I think. It was on my birthday. It was my very first tournament.
I think I went to that.
Mutaking was there. Then you were there, I guess. I think Gatsu was there. Bunch of good players, right? And I was just having my mind blown because I was like, oh my god, these people are like fucking amazing.
It was a good tournament.
It was a good tournament. And I remember before I only used to play with my brother. My brother was a Bowser main, funny enough. He was shitty. And I was a Falco main, so I would just like dare shine him like every time. And I remember the night before he was like, you know, Evan, I'm not gonna lie, I think you're probably actually gonna do pretty well. I think you're, you know, pretty good. And like we had never played anyone before. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I might. Maybe I'm better than I think. Maybe I'm better than I'm giving myself credit for, right? I go there, I go 0-2, obviously. I just get my ass handed to me just left and right.
Right.
But I remember having that anxiety, like, fuck, what if they don't say my name right? What if they don't fucking call me?
Was your
like,
tag Proga back then?
It was just Proga. Yeah, it's always
Okay.
been Proga. It's been Proga since, like, God, probably like 2005. Back when I first started playing on Yahoo Sports. Or Yahoo Games, whatever it was called.
Sure.
I used to play a game called Go, like Japanese Go, on Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
So my tag was Pro Go, and I was like, oh, this is sick. And then I was like, Pro Go sounds too much like Pogo, and that sounds stupid. So I'm just going to change the A to, like, the last letter to A. I'll just be Proga. And then I just stuck with that. And
that's cool.
I just liked it. Yeah, I just liked it ever since.
Sick.
It was, so I used to be a Hello Weeb. So it used to be Proga Kun. Just because I was super nerdy.
Right.
Then I lost that shit. Now it's just Proga.
That's good.
Yeah,
Good save.
Definitely a good idea, I think, in my opinion. So, yeah, tags are fun because they're like your parents obviously give you your real name, so you don't really have much input on it,
right,
or literally none at all. So a tag is like your own name that you give yourself. But it's interesting because most people don't call you Stockholm Syndrome, do they?
No, not here. People, it tends to be people who don't know me super well just call me Stockholm.
Right, that makes sense.
Which is fine. And there's people in this region who probably call me Stockholm and I don't really think about it. But most people call me Kyle because, well, most people that I interact with are like the top, 10 or whatever players.
Right.
Or people that I've known for a while, so they would just call me Kyle anyway because they've just known me for like a while.
Would you prefer that if new players that you didn't know called you Stockholm or Kyle?
I feel like if people came up to me that I didn't know and called me Kyle, it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, that would be a little bizarre.
Yeah. So I've always been that if I don't know the person, I'll call them by their tag.
Right.
As like a sign of respect. And
I
would want
it's
people...
It's like a surname, right?
Yeah, kind of. I would want people to do the same for me because, like, I don't know. I don't know. My first name is like people who don't know you would call me... People who don't know me would call me Mr. Wehrs.
Right.
If I was like a, like a business or something like that.
They wouldn't call you Kyle.
No.
Hella disrespectful.
Yeah, so I
sure.
kind of, that's, I guess, how I look at it. But, like, if somebody came up to me and called me Kyle, like, I wouldn't, like, berate them or anything. You mean like you're doing right now?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. So, but, yeah.
That makes sense. I think it's kind of cool because most people call me Proga, like Schmang and Raid, like...
Yeah.
And because I call them by their tags, right? And I mean, I call Ryan, and I'll call like people by their first names.
Right.
But normally I like calling them by their tag for the most part. It's mainly whatever I call them, whatever they introduce themselves as is what I call them. So like, do you know Baylor? He's like a Tampa player. His tag is Gumby.
I think so.
I don't call him Gumby because he introduced himself as Baylor. So like, I'm not going to be like, oh, what's up, Gumby? Because that would just be weird. But plus, if people made their tag while I knew them, right? Like their tag was like something new to them at the time, then I'll just call them by their first name normally.
Right.
So, but yeah, tags are fun. Tags are cool. How do you feel about like first name tags like Keaton or Guido?
I think that when you have a unique enough name like Keaton or Guido, I think it's totally fine. I think that like they were talking about it at Summit with IBDW.
Yeah.
About like,
name.
why don't they just call him Cody? And I was like, Cody the Fox player. I don't know. It just sounds like he's like 12.
Generic as fuck.
Yeah. So IBDW is like kind of being as nice as possible. It's like a questionable tag for like how weird it is to say. It's like Oscar was calling him like IB because like weird. And I was like, this is weird.
It's like calling you Stock. Like, what if Stock?
Yeah.
Like, that would be just a little weird.
Yeah, when you know Laser, right?
Yeah,
when he met me, he started calling me Stock, and he called me it like 3 times, and I was like, please stop calling me Stock. Nobody calls me Stock.
Just call
I
me Stock.
was just like, dude, please stop. No one's literally ever called me Stock in my entire life.
I thought about it for a while just because, I don't know, I feel like I want to say Stockholm Syndrome because it's cool, but I don't want to say the whole thing every time. So
Everybody calls me Stockholm.
We're just Stock. What up, Stock?
I don't know.
You're right. That would be kind of weird.
Stock's weird.
That's a little bizarre.
Stock is the name of our lives in Melee. Like,
True. So now it's the name of your life.
yeah, I don't like that though. Like, just call me Stockholm, so it's like not fucking like Stock. Like, oh, hello, Peach. Like, I don't want to be called Peach. I want to be called Stock.
I think a big reason why people change their tag to their name, or at least this is why Guido did it, is because people weren't calling them by that. They weren't calling them by their tag. So they were like, well, if no one calls me this, why the fuck is it my tag, right?
Well, I'd call Keaton whatever his tag was before, but he kept changing it. No, but it was Weapon X too.
So he changed it from Puppy to Weapon X because he moved, and he was like, well, new place, new identity. But also, I think Weapon X is the name of his Falco or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But regardless. And then no one called him Weapon X because that was like, well, I don't know, just not as good as Puppy.
Yeah.
But people called him Puppy for a while, right?
I did too. I remember that.
Yeah. I think it's a fucking phenomenal tag. Puppy is such a good tag.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, he just changed it. Plus, you're right. Keaton is a very unique name. So
Yeah, Keaton's fine.
Yeah. And I think it's fine as long as you identify with it. Like, as long as, like, I mean, I guess there are people that don't really identify with their own name, which
I don't like
Kyle.
the name. So
Really?
like all the okay, here's all the Kyle memes. Just push them to the side for a second.
Sure.
I've
All the
never liked
monster
the
and-
I've never liked the name Kyle. I don't find it aesthetically pleasing like at all.
Really?
Why I'm named Kyle is actually pretty cool. So I'm like,
what's
all right,
that
fine.
story?
So I was named Kyle after Kyle Reese from the Terminator series.
Oh, really?
So my dad was just like, yo, Kyle's
Your
mom,
dad's a fucking nerd.
Terminator's pretty sick. You know what sounds like a cool name? Kyle Reese. Let's name our son Kyle. And my mom was like, okay. So
Wow.
then I
Okay.
became Kyle because of Kyle Reese from Terminator series. Now take all these memes and put them right back here again. Now it makes it even worse.
Oh,
now
way
it's
worse.
like, wow, like I'm completely like the opposite of this like
Yep.
whatever
Of
that
this
they're trying to
trope.
portray.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like no one's ever like made fun of the memes and pointed it at me.
Well, that's because that's rude as fuck.
Well, I've seen people do it to other Kyles,
That's
like on
awful.
Facebook and stuff. But like, I don't know. It's just like annoying because I'm like, I always knew like, if you remember like the Amanda show, and
Yeah,
there
of
was
course.
Totally Kyle.
Totally
people would
Kyle.
always do that at me
that's
in like
'cause you were
elementary
in middle school or elementary school, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to like be a dick when you're young. Right?
Yeah. But I knew that trope growing up, and I was like, I can't skate for shit. I'm so bad at skating.
Right. Yeah.
And
Skater dude guy.
And now, like, the drywall monster, like, I haven't drank a monster since, like, 2009.
I love
And I
Monster.
drank, like, 2 or 3, maybe.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just whatever. But I don't like the name. Like, I've always felt like I was more of, like, I don't know, not Kyle.
If
Not
you
Kyle.
could choose, what would your name be?
I don't know. I've always liked, like, Steven or, like,
You could be a Steven.
or, like, what's the other name? Or, like, Justin or something.
Justin. You couldn't be a Justin. You could be a Steven, I think.
Steven's
Or
fine.
even a Stephen with a PH. I think
It's
you
still
could be a Stephen.
fucking Steven.
No, it's Stephen. It's a different name.
You mean, like, Stefan?
Oh, no, that's different. That's different. Stefan is different.
I think I'll just take Steven
You could be a
and leave.
Stefan, because you are Greek, right?
Yeah.
Stefan sounds Greek, kind of. A little bit.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. But no, I love the name Evan. I think it's sick.
Evan's a good name.
I think so. My parents always used to tell me, and I have no idea how accurate this is,
Mhm.
that Evan is Czechoslovakian, the same name as John, which
Okay.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but that's what they used to tell me. And so my family is like very Catholic, very traditionally Catholic.
Mhm.
So they wanted me to be named after Saint John and Saint Joseph because my middle name's Joseph.
Mhm.
But they like the name Evan better than John or Joseph because I have a cousin named John.
Mhm.
So they just called me Evan. So,
Okay.
And my middle name's Joseph. So yeah, it's very traditional. All of my, so there's 2 criteria that my family takes when naming their children because
Mhm.
I have a lot of siblings. One is it's got to be named after a saint,
Right.
has to be,
Right.
and 2, it can't have a nickname. So all of my like siblings, like they don't have nicknames. It's all just their normal name.
Right.
So it's like Evan can't be shortened. I have a sister named Claire that can't be shortened.
Right.
And it's spelled without an I. It's Clare because that's the way the saint's named.
Gotcha.
There's Paul, Saint Paul, Lauren, and then Drew. So his name isn't Andrew. His name is Drew.
Right.
So it's It's interesting. It's a very Catholic, very traditional family. So, yeah.
Cool.
I think names are interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like when I was naming my cat, it was like, well, this is the name I'm going to be calling you for the rest of your life.
Mm.
So I've got to make it good.
It's got to be a good one.
You know, it's got to be good.
Mm.
And I think pets are a little different because they don't have to be normal names, right? You can name them whenever you want.
I had a dog named T-Bone.
Yeah, right. Like you're not going to
T-bone
call a person a T-bone.
Yeah, we would. Our like nickname for him was Boner, which is like kind of funny, but like in context, it was like normal because he was T-Bone.
Yeah, T-bone, of course.
Yeah.
Man, you love steaks, don't you?
I do, but that I didn't name that dog. That was my stepdad named that dog.
Oh, does your dad love steaks just as much?
Yeah, everybody loves steaks.
That's true.
Like in both families.
I think just everybody loves steaks. Period. Like who doesn't like a good steak?
Vegans and
unless
stuff.
you're a vegan. Yeah, but then it's like they still probably
They like
enjoy
it.
steak.
Yeah,
they
like
just
it.
have a more.
They don't like
reason.
that they like it, but they like it.
They like it. No,
Yeah,
they fucking
come on.
love it. Of course,
Give me a
everybody
fucking
likes a
break.
steak. How do you were telling the story of how you cooked the perfect steak the other day? Is that something you want to get into?
Do you want me to go over it? I can do it. Like I can do it again, and I'll try to make it more succinct and better if you'd like.
If it's something you want to talk about, I'm down.
Is this something that you think the viewers would like to hear?
I think they just like listening to you talk because I think you have a beautiful voice.
Are you sure? I don't like my voice.
I fucking love your voice.
I think it sounds like this. Like,
So, I used to think the same thing, is I thought my voice sounded like nasally and nasty, but other people are like, no, you've got a nice voice. So I'm like, okay,
Your voice sounds
whatever.
fine, yeah.
I appreciate it. I actually went to the doctors like a year ago because I was like, I'm always congested, you know, I'm always like having to blow my nose.
Mhm.
And literally the doctor and his assistant look at me and they're like, well, yeah, you've got a fucking nasally ass voice. Like they said that to me and I was like, what? Like, what the fuck? And ever since then, I'd never thought of it since then, but ever since then, I think I have a really nasty ass voice.
I think your voice is fine, but I also don't have your voice and don't listen to
Right.
it all the time.
Right, exactly.
I listen to myself all the time.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time. Yeah. So, and I think editing my own voice, like in these podcasts, has helped me become more like less self-conscious.
Immune to it?
Yeah, like I don't care,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Voices are weird.
do you want me to do the steak
Yeah,
thing now?
yeah, go for it.
Okay.
We're putting the camera right on you, baby.
Yeah.
You can look
so
right at the camera.
yeah,
when
that's
you
what I was
talk.
gonna do. Okay, so for those who weren't here, which is like most of you probably who are gonna watch this, I explained at D Joy's house, who's a local Falcon, if you don't know him, in SRQ that is. At his house, I explained to Raid, another Falcon player from SRQ, how to cook a steak because he asked. So I've cooked a lot of steaks over the years. My dad showed me how to cook steaks a long time ago, and then since then, I've just been way better than him. And if there's ever a time to get steaks and cook them, it's always been me that's done it. This is how Stockholm prepares a steak. Now, it depends on the cut. So let's just say it's like your average bone-in ribeye steak, which most of them are about the same density. So this is how I would cook it. So it depends on your grill, but my grill's kind of shitty and doesn't cook super well. So I know how to use mine, and you know, for those watching at home, you could have it different. So
Mr. Gordon Ramsay.
so this is what I would do. I take the steak, and there's two ways you can cook a steak. I'm going to tell you my way of cooking it, which is like not as good, but like it's safer, to keep it rare and not to undercook it. So I put the heat on, and I'll just put the steak on. Like, it doesn't matter. You can wait, or you can just put it on. I usually just put it on with the heat starting up. Let it cook, and I'll rotate it one time. It, again, depends on your grill, because you could have, like, shitty burners like I do, and I have to rotate it specifically around these two burners, and if I don't, then it won't cook right. So I cook it until the side that it's cooking looks like it should be in a magazine. That doesn't mean the whole steak is done. It just means that side looks very tasty and like, ooh, I want to eat this now, but you can't eat it now. It's not. It's completely raw on the other side. So once it's at that, then I flip it over. I'll flip it over, and depending on how thick the steak is, again, I have a pretty good like internal clock of when I'm supposed to take the steak off. I won't change the heat at all. I'll look at it, and I'll rotate it again, but I'll rotate it faster, because you can just put it back on if it's not cooked enough. But once it's overcooked, then you're just done. Then the steak is going to be what it is, or more cooked. So I'm usually more liberal about when I take it off. So I will take it off, and I'll put it on a plate, and I'll cut into it, and I'll check. And you can tell I need to cook it on this side more, or I need to cook on this side more, or it just needs to be cooked more in general. It doesn't matter which side. And so if the bottom side, which is the side that's I usually do faster, if you need to put it on that one, then just put it on that one. And then I'll take it off again. once I feel like I've cooked it enough, and then I'll be good. So for me, the way that I look at steak is that when you cut into it, when you take it out of the package, it'll be red. It'll be blood red. When you put it on the grill, the side that it's on will turn brown, i.e. cooked. But the inside will go from bright red to purple to pink. The purple means it is not done yet. That's like tartare. So I don't want to get sick. So I don't cook tartare. You can.
Yeah,
it's really easy.
You can eat raw steak though.
Yeah, you can, but I don't like to take the chance.
Okay.
So what I do is, for me, whenever the steak is pink exactly, then I take it off. Now, the parts that you want to be looking at the steak are the thickest parts, because those are the parts that'll take the longest to cook. Like, obviously, but I need to say that. So when I'm cutting into the steak to see how cooked it is and to see if it's ready, I will cut the thickest parts first, check that, and then if that's not done, the rest of the steak, it doesn't even matter. The rest of the steak could be done, like the ends are probably done, but like it doesn't matter. If the ends get cooked a little more, it's not really that big of a deal. It's the fatter parts, the more dense parts that you want more cooked. So take it off the plate. If I cut in the thick parts and it's good and it's pink, it's like pink the whole time, then I have succeeded, and then I'm done. Now what I do is when I'm cooking on the grill, I'll actually cut into it with the whatever it's called, like
the tongs.
The tongs, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll cut into it with tongs, and I'll pour the soy sauce that I have into it.
Oh, you have soy sauce.
Mm-hmm. And so that's just me personally. I'll usually put it on both sides, though. Lately, I've just been putting on the second side because like half of it just like falls off anyway. So I'm just like whatever. But I like that just a little bit, not a whole lot. But and then I take it off and then it's done. And the other way that you can do it, which I'll just say really fast, is searing a steak. Searing a steak is if you have a really fat steak and you want to keep all the juices locked inside. What you do is you put the grill on really, really hot, like as hot as possible, and then you put the steak on, rotate it once, and this is all happening quite fast, like within a couple minutes, depending on how thick your steak is and how shitty your grill is. So like I can't really do this on my grill. And then you flip it over, and what you should have is nice and cooked the sides you're on. And for restaurants, they'll, depending on what shape the steak is in, they'll flip it into like in a cube shape, basically. So they get all of it, and basically what it does is you burn this top and the bottom so fast that it locks in all the flavor into it. Whereas my method is more safe and more like gets you the rarity that you want exactly.
While still cooking it
like medium fast.
Right. So you enjoy your steaks medium or rare?
Like for me, I would say that what I cook is medium rare.
Okay.
But because rare is, I don't know, my grill is just not very good. So medium rare is kind of the safe thing.
Right.
When people come over, I ask them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want a medium steak, I know exactly what the timing is to cook them a medium steak based on the grill and how big the steak is, just because I've done it for so long.
So next Stockholm, steaks?
If there is another Stockholm,
I'll buy the steak. I'll buy one for me and I'll buy one for you.
Okay.
If you cook it for me.
Sure. I'll cook
but
whatever.
You have to understand that I enjoy my steaks medium well.
Okay, that's fine.
Like well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do it.
I love a good. I think that's a hot take because I don't think a lot of people like it like that.
No, they don't.
I think most people like it rare or medium rare,
Mm-hmm.
which I get. I just like it a little bit more cooked. You know.
That's fine.
Salt, pepper. What do you put on them?
I literally just put the soy sauce on.
Oh, really?
The way that I look at it, and this is why I hate Chick-fil-A, what I'm cooking should be good enough to eat by itself without anything else. Now, I just put soy sauce on because I feel like that just adds just enough where it makes it like over the top good.
Little pizzazz.
Just a little sparkle.
Right.
And but that's why I don't like Chick-fil-A, is because I'm like, okay, the way that I eat food, and this is how I approach Chick-fil-A also, is I sat down and I said, okay, I know that they have good sauces, which is what everybody says. I'm going to try to eat this with no sauce. I'm going to try to eat it as is, because IMO, food should be fine to eat as is, or it should be great without anything.
If you cooked it well.
Well, if it's cooked well, if they used the right spices or the right whatever.
If it's prepared properly.
Right, prepared well, not prepared properly. Because Chick-fil-A probably prepares its stuff properly. But, like, that is the most white people bland chicken I've ever eaten in my life. And
that's why you need the sauce.
Yeah, and that's why, and then so I went there, and Queso was there, and he loves Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Who
was
doesn't
like,
love Chick-fil-A?
me. And
Oh.
so I went there, and I was like, Queso, this shit is so bland. this shit is so fucking boring.
Their fries are so good.
And then he's like, well, you got to try the sauce, man. I'm like, no.
That was a good impression.
Was it?
Yeah, that sounded a lot like Queso, actually.
Okay, well, I didn't. Anyway.
That was pretty good.
And I was like, no, I'm not trying the sauce. I'm never coming here again. And I never did.
You never went back?
No.
Oh, I was there last night.
Yeah.
You got to get a vanilla shake is fucking delicious, and their fries are good.
Okay.
Their fries are good. Yeah, their sandwiches are, good enough.
Well, I went up to the desk and I said, what do you guys recommend? And they said either chicken tenders or chicken nuggets if you're here for the first time. And I said,
true.
okay. So I'm pretty sure I got chicken nuggets. And like, I was like, wow, this sucks. Like, this is so bland.
Did you even try the Chick-fil-A sauce at all?
No, I just said,
Well,
I'm done.
that's the appeal.
I
is
know
the
that, I know,
Chick-fil-A
but
sauce.
like, it shouldn't be
Oh
like that.
my
That's
God.
my take
Right.
on food. It shouldn't have to be like that. It should be good enough to eat by itself.
So what's your favorite fast food? Like fast food.
Like not Wawa.
I
Because it'd be Wawa, but if it's not Wawa, if Wawa
Really?
doesn't count, then
think Wawa's counts.
I just like Wawa for the variety of shit that I can get,
Right.
and like
You
how.
think it's made well or prepared well?
Yeah,
Okay, nice.
yeah,
Nice.
And I mean, like, most of what I get there is like, not something that's just like a piece of chicken.
Right.
So like, it's a
What do you
sandwich with a
normally
lot
get?
of.
Like a Cuban or something?
I'll either get a BLT or I'll
Okay.
get like ham, Swiss, lettuce, onions.
Ooh.
So
I-
pretty like standard,
Hot
but
take, I hate Wawas. I just think it's nasty. I just don't think it's made well at all.
I
Or
can
at least the
appreciate
ones I've gotten. I haven't been to like a really fancy Wawa's.
the one by my house is pretty clean.
Really?
That's where Spency and now Chad work.
Oh, Chad works there too?
He just started
That's
there
awesome.
like not even a week ago.
So he doesn't work at Best Buy anymore.
No, he does. He does both. Yeah,
what?
so he's doing night shift at Wawa and morning
Wow.
shift at Best Buy.
That's
So
dedication.
he's trying to be a as Spency would say, a wage cuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
It's
one by my
unfortunate.
house is nice, but it's also a lot less populated than perhaps a Wawa over here
In
would
Tampa.
be. Yeah.
The Wawas here are pretty trashy, but it's not the Wawa's fault by
the
any
people's
means.
fault,
It's just
probably.
Tampa. You know, all of Tampa's trashy.
Tampa grime.
I fucking hate living in Tampa. Sorry to those of you who enjoy Tampa, but I fucking hate it.
Over by the Stockholm is so nice.
Like Sarasota area or up north of that.
No, like specifically where I live, like Lakewood Ranch.
Okay.
Like that area is just so nice. It's so
rich
like
people.
white people, quiet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's, I don't know. I don't feel like dirty when I walk around. Whereas here, I would not want to go outside if I was here. Like that's how I feel. No offense, Tampa.
I don't really think it's a dirty thing. I just hate cities with universities near them because they accrue this like weird persona of like young people plus dropouts plus I mean it's every big city, right? You get it in New York, you get it in like San Diego, but it's just
Yeah.
this like I don't necessarily care about like the dirty, nasty city aspect. I mainly care about like the like how people think when they live here. Like everyone's trying to grind and everyone's really busy and fast, you know?
Right.
But I don't know. I'm from like a kind of a slower part of town over in like Largo, Clearwater. So, which like it wasn't nice or anything. Like it was nice, but it wasn't like rich or anything. You know?
Right.
It was very middle class. So I don't know. I just hate Tampa. So
I can understand that.
yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, the suburbs of Tampa are nice-ish, but I don't know. I just am not from here, so I'm not very comfortable.
Yeah,
But,
I don't really like coming here ever.
Yeah. I'm sorry I made you drive all the
No,
way
it's
here.
okay. I mean, you're right off the highway. I don't have to be here like in the city very
right.
long.
True.
I can just get right back on and leave
Yeah.
quickly.
I've been thinking about moving for a while back to Clearwater just because I enjoy it over there.
Mhm.
Not back in with my parents, but just back to Clearwater.
Mhm.
You know, so it'd be about like finding a job, but I want to keep the podcast up, and Tampa's a nice central location for a lot of that.
It is.
I
Yeah.
also want to keep like expansion and all that striving and going good.
Dude,
so.
move to SRQ.
Fuck no.
Oh, why is that?
Because there's not a scene down in SRQ.
For what?
Well, there is a scene, but the scene in Tampa's bigger. I gotta make it.
For a melee?
Yeah, specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to grow the Tampa scene as much as possible.
You are.
Yeah. Because if I wasn't here, don't get me wrong, I think there would still be a weekly. Someone would, scrap together something. But I'm trying to put in the money and put in the big bucks, trying to do the thing that no one else wants to do, Which, that's I want to help Sarasota as much as possible. That's why I go and stream y'all's tournaments.
Mhm.
But I mean, if I didn't go there every week, I don't think you guys would be losing much. I don't think I, put that much into the scene.
I think that Well, it's hard to say because I feel like probably at this point expansion doesn't have a very far reach,
Right.
like something like VGBC does.
Yeah.
But the fact that we now have many salty keys recorded because of you, whereas before we only had like a couple when Chad had brought his recording setup,
Yeah.
and that was like salty key 70.
Yeah.
Now we're at salty key, I don't even know what,
173.
70, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
or at least the last one was 173. I
So
think, this
now,
upcoming
not only do we get sets recorded, so we have like, now we have like the capacity to actually make a combo video like DJoy's trying to do.
one. Right.
But now we can actually have people who didn't come or people from other regions watch and see, you know, SRQ still exists. SRQ or
Still a
SRQ does exist.
Right.
And there's another scene in Florida that probably others may assume exists but don't actually like know for sure.
Right. That's why I think Project Slippy is like a game changer when it comes to Melee, because you don't need skill at all to run Slippy and to record your sets. Like, to be fair with you, if Slippy worked at Starbucks, which it doesn't just because the Wi-Fi there is weird, but if it did, you guys would have no need for me. You could just like run Slippy and Deej could just like do everything.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love going down to Salty Key. I love competing and playing with you guys, even if I go 1 and 2 every time, because I have to play fucking Schmang and then and then you. So it's whatever.
I'm happy that expansion can come down and I guess be a part of the SRQ community when not naturally being here and give us the respect or the time of day or however you want to say it for like you and whoever else helps you to bring down all the streaming equipment and to set that up.
It's mainly DJoy, to be honest with you. It's mainly one of your own. You know,
Okay.
DJoy has done so much work for me, and I genuinely would be lost without him. At least in Sarasota, he's an awesome guy, and he's helped a lot. But no, I mean, I think it makes it all worth it because you guys are so chill, and you guys are really a cool scene, and like you're so tight knit and so grassroots that it's like, I mean, I would go down there even if I wasn't recording y'all sets. You know, I would go down there just to play. You
That's
know?
nice.
But I'm not going to DMTs anymore.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's too much driving for me.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours of driving just in 1 week.
Yeah.
You know,
That's too much.
and plus 12 inch is a thing now, so I don't have to go down there because I set up Slippy at DJoy's place, so he doesn't need a recording setup anymore. He can just run Slippy.
Nice.
It's nice in HD, which is perfect. So
Yeah.
yeah, all right. We've been recording for about an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about anything else.
I
Talked about a whole steak for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't
fucking
know.
love it.
Yeah.
We basically just ad-libbed this entire thing.
Yep.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, Kyle. It was good having you on.
Yeah,
and
thanks
I
for-
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy, everybody. Peace.
Bye-bye.